obviously I'm going for monkeyfish.
Do I have a choice?
No. I stole it.
Okay. Old pendulous breast herself.
Chase you through a cave. I know you do outside.
And we're going to talk about how wrong you are after that.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Monsters Lounge. I'm Jeni.
And I'm Tressa. Hi.
That was a good one. I like that one.
Thanks.
Hey, Tressa, I'm gonna get serious here for a second.
Okay.
I know it's unusual, it's strange, it's not how we usually introduce the shows, but I'm gonna do it, and you could totally mute me if you wanted to. I just realized because I was gonna say you can't stop me, but you could.
I could. I'm not going to
Yeah.
because
Thank you.
it's important. Go ahead.
It is. It is. So, recently we had a very dear friend lose somebody very close to them, right? And whenever that kind of happens, whenever you start hearing about, and then there's tragedy all over the place, right? So you kind of start thinking about life, at least I do, and what all that entails. And life is hard sometimes, right?
Boy,
It's hard, and it's sad, and it's painful. And it's also this kaleidoscope of beauty and magic and wonder. We have all of these things, and grief certainly is possibly, for me, the thing that is most painful. It goes beyond any kind of depression I ever go through. The grief and losing people in your life is so profound and so life-changing, really. But it also comes with this certain measure of, again, I'm just going to say the word beauty, because it means we've loved, and it means that we've connected, and it means that we've found a meaningful relationship with another human being or another breathing, living thing, right? And that's part of the beauty, and that's part of the human experience and why we're here. But I also start thinking about it, and I think about the people that I forget to remind them that I love them. I forget to tell them how much I appreciate them, or tell them something good about themselves. I forget to check in. You get busy with life and all of the things that go on internally in your head, and your bad days or your good days or whatever. And you get so distracted, and for me, I get so centered in my own life, and I forget. But it's so important, and this is part of the beauty of grief, is that it reminds you that life is so beautiful and so fragile and so irreplaceable, and that we should reach out and be kind to strangers and be kind to other people and remind our loved ones that we love them and why. And for me, I like to do this really silly thing, right? It's 5 things that bring me joy every single day, but they've always got to be different. It's got to be different every single day, just 5 things, and it can be the tiniest thing. And after like week 3 or 4, you start really looking for the tiniest things, and they can be in other people.
5 seems like a lot.
You could start with 3 or 2. Just something that you're grateful for, something that brings you joy or gladness. And if it's another person, let them know. Like I want to let you know, Tressa, that I have rarely in my adult life met somebody who immediately was somebody I knew that my soul had met before. And
Jeni,
your friendship, I won't.
Yes.
Your friendship has been the best and the worst. No, just kidding. It's been one of the most amazing things, and one of the most magic things that I've experienced. And I love you for that.
I love you to death. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm bad with words in the way that you are, but
Mm.
I can't fully express the anything more than
Oh,
ditto because listen, you are the
sweet.
smartest, prettiest, most magical
Shush.
lady
Shush.
who is so smart, and it brings me so much joy and so much rationality that I need on a daily basis. Thank you
Oh,
for being my friend, Jenny. I love you.
thank you for being my friend. I love you.
Oh,
And we're gonna now bring some laughter and some light and just have some interesting conversations and good times because the laughter is like medicine.
yeah.
So I really want everybody to help me welcome our guest, who is Haley Stack, and she is a renowned Appalachian paranormal investigator. She's a spirit medium. She is an herbalist and folk magic practitioner. Also, she just kind of brings a little bit of magic to the world. She really does. And just by being her and just by being friendly and open and fun and amazing. So help me welcome Haley.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello,
That was the best
welcome.
introduction. Thank you.
She's good
Well, we're
at
big
that.
fans.
Oh, I'm a big fan. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so
Yay.
excited to ask you so many questions because there are so many things that I'm an absolute idiot about.
No one's an idiot. If you don't know, you don't know.
True. That's about, well, that's way nicer than I put it. But okay, so you practice witchcraft and you also are a spirit medium, right?
Yes. hmm
Which came first?
Hmm. It all kind of happened in a whole thing for me in one go. Because it started off as just an investigation for me. I watched Ghost Adventures. That was about it. So someone said there was a public. I said, I'm going to check it out. And I guess the mediumship because I channeled something that night and didn't know what was going on. And thankfully that team swooped me under their wing and helped me understand. And the person who happened to take me under was like, "So you know, like you're a witch?" And I'm like, "Excuse me, I grew up Southern Baptist, but no." And yeah, here we are.
So what happened? What happened?
Yeah. So when I went on this public, I started describing a woman that they could prove what she looked like. She was a mistress there, and even I was looking at them going, "What the fuck?" So it was weird, and I freaked out because that was what I was told I would go to hell for as growing up. And I had weird experiences once in a while, but my parents were cool, like, "Oh, it's a ghost, but we move on." Like there was no actual discussion about spirits. It was heaven or hell when you died.
Yeah.
So I thought, nope. And then I actually remember coming home and told my husband, and I was like, they were like, if you need any help, let us know, or any questions, we're happy to guide you. And I went home and said, I can't go talk about that. I'll go to hell. And
Yeah.
he was so sweet. He's like, so you'll go to hell for questions? And I'm like, it for 2 weeks I sat on it. And finally I called them and I said, I just have some questions. And I met with them and then started learning about what gifts are and magic. And yeah.
Oh, yeah, I like that very much. So, what sort, because there's different kinds of magic, right?
Yes. hmm
All right, everybody's just gonna have to forgive, like, if the questions might be a little basic. We're at,
You are
like, preschool level of questioning.
101.
101 is, and you are specifically, is there specifically, do you just kind of mm, get pulled in one direction or another? How does that?
Yeah, it's different. Again, there's so many verbal ways to word who does what practice. I like to say I'm a folk practitioner. I prefer the old ways of like in Appalachia, it's, you know, going outside and nailing a piece of wood to a tree and with someone drawn on it is casting back at them or going outside and reading a verse to call on the rain. Like that's magic in Appalachian magic. It's just using the old ways and what you have access to, because in Appalachia we didn't have a lot. It's a poor area. But sometimes I could say I'm a green witch because I use a lot of plants and herbs. So it kind of depends what you're talking about. You could say I'm eclectic because I do pull from different things that feel right for me, and what doesn't I don't use. So there's different things to call yourself. I just like that. I don't, even around here, you can't say witch often. It might offend the wrong person. So you have to say like, oh, I'm a healer. I got the gift of, So
Yeah.
you have to learn how to bridge it here. I used to be offended by it. But I'm learning that's just not what I do. I bridge gaps. And so I want people to understand that they're doing magic at home and don't even know it.
Absolutely. I think that, I mean, I grew up Christian too, and
Mhm.
I still am being told that I'm going to hell because I believe that ghosts exist. So I get it 100%. But I think that the verbiage, it really freaking matters to some people. You can be saying the same exact thing with different words, and they'll hate it one way and they'll love it and eat it up a whole different way.
Yes.
So yeah, I get that.
Oh, yes.
Were there people around for you to sort of learn this from, or did you? Obviously, you'd need to seek them out, but in your area, in the area of Appalachia,
Mhm.
it sounds like it's very specific in some of these rituals or what have you. Do you call them rituals or spells?
So spells are anything you do, either a prayer or that can be a spell. A ritual is more written out, practice, do certain things similar but also different.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But you would need to learn these things. Are there people around you that can help? Like, did you have to? How do you seek that out?
I was so fortunate. Again, the team, it was SRS Paranormal, out of East Tennessee, and so fortunate that they also had practitioners on the team. Happened to I stepped into it with a mentor and learned a lot from that person. Just kind of separate ways later, but SRS was a really big. I was just fortunate to land in one of their publics, and they had all the right people. Otherwise, it would have been very difficult because even telling my family was hard.
Yeah.
I still talk to
Imagine.
demons.
Yes. Yes. hmm
Oh, I'm
The
laughing, but it's
devil ain't
horrible, but I'm
called me
laughing.
yet. I'm kind of disappointed. They said he keeps calling me, and he's not called me yet. So
Oh
Have you
man,
tried calling him? Because I feel like that's how you get there. And
it's
don't do
busy
that.
you gotta
all the
make
Oh, it's busy?
every time.
man.
That's wild.
Isn't he off like fiddling at a crossroads or something? Like, isn't that
He's
Oh,
a
yeah.
very
isn't
heavy
that what he's up to?
violin. He's not good
Oh,
at it.
listen, around here, it's interesting. So I was reading last year at an event for a lady I know. She was so kind. She's like, "We need a reader." I'm like, "I got you." And there was a man who kept watching me and watching me. And finally he walks up and he's like, "So what are you doing?" I said, "Talking to the dead." And he was like, "Oh." So we start talking and he's telling me everything. And he proceeds to inform me that I am basically 1/3 of the population born evil.
Whoa.
But God talks to him in his dreams. So I
Right,
asked him, I
that's
said,
different.
"How do you know that's God and what I'm talking to is not?"
Wow.
He didn't really have an answer there. He kind of
That's so
stopped.
weird.
Mhm.
That's so weird. Huh.
Mhm.
So weird. Wow.
I know. I was very intrigued that God talks to him, but not me.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe it's because he's a man. Maybe that's why.
that one really,
I don't want to say it, but
Mhm. No, that's
mean-
precisely what it was.
what do you do? Honestly, when someone says something like,
Oh, I
"Oh,
love.
you're evil," or like, like, all right.
I got my first Jesus card a couple years ago at an event, and that's when I knew I'd made it. I knew I'd made it then because he walked up to me, and the first year this man had read me at an event, he was like, "I can read you. Stick your hand over here." And I said, "Okay." He said, "I can't feel anything on you. Are you dead?" And I was like, "I don't know." And so the next year I see him and he comes over and he saw that I do readings, and he came back. He goes, "I thought you might like this." And it was a Jesus one, and it's a gold flashy one, so it was pretty special. So I went to his table and got the other one, and I have a collector's item now.
That is incredible.
You just smile. Like, I think
Uh-huh.
people, you have to sometimes remember in their weird way they mean well. Like, again, I used to be like that. I thought that I was helping people, and it hurts sometimes. And sometimes I snap back, but sometimes I try to remember they're doing what they are taught Sunday morning to save themselves to do.
Yeah, it's
There is that level of patience.
yeah, exactly.
I think
It-
having been there, you have a little more grace than the average Joe.
Oh, I haven't been there and I have very little grace for it.
I mean, there are times.
it just feels judgy and weird. Like you don't care where I'm going at any point. Don't.
Yeah.
Oh, they think I'm going to hell, and I
Right.
just love it. I'm like, it'll be toasty.
I like the
It's-
summer.
It's so strange to me. Like, I'm so much more likely to just kind of jump on board with whatever anybody believes, right?
Yes.
Because I was raised on like folklore and nature. Like that
Love
was it. Like no religion whatsoever was happening in or around me. And so I'm like, all right, cool. Like if that's like whatever it is, all sounds foreign to me. So do what you feel, man. Just whatever you want to do. Just don't impact other people like that. Anyway,
It's your beliefs. You don't need to press them into my face.
I was gonna say I could go down a
Yeah.
whole other route of coming out of the Southern Bible Belt and wanting to be a missionary and pastor's wife, but
Wow.
that's another Haley. That's another
Yeah.
lifetime ago.
fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
How
No.
I know that I know that you're so incredibly tied to where you're from, which is Appalachian. Like it's a fascinating area, and I don't think people all the time understands how incredibly old it is, right? I mean, we're
Mhm.
talking about these mountains that are built and have Precambrian rock on
Yes.
them, which is our first rock. I know. I go into the geology and it's, but
No, I
come
don't.
on, man, it's like billions of years old. And you're like, there's that stone that was here when the earth was made. Like, it's crazy.
The rocks, how many are new? Like, I don't understand geology, and you're talking gobbledygook right now.
What
I love it.
basically means is it's filled with all the kinds of rocks and minerals that are conducive to paranormal activity. And it
Okay.
means that there's a lot of very old folklore and myth and all of those things. And I would like to know, Haley, from you, what your favorite little bit of that lore and that history is.
Ooh, good question. Local lore. We have good ones around here, in different areas. I do like learning about Wampus Cat. I think that is an interesting one. Do y'all know about Wampus Cat?
I know the briefest amount, and it's like the description of the cat, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it actually does.
Of course, tied in respect to the native culture, and so I'm not trying to say I fully know the whole story, but if I get any piece wrong, I apologize. But it is a panther with like 6 legs, and it was tied to a woman, and she, I believe, watched a ceremony she wasn't supposed to, and therefore turned, and it's crazy. I would love to see her out prowling. It is a goal. But
6 legs, that's
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes.
An insect cat, yay.
yes, I just think that is so fascinating. And I was recently reading, because like Bigfoot lore is everywhere, kind of, and so I love it. Well, I was recently reading in the Foxfire books, and if y'all haven't heard of them, they are fascinating books on Appalachia. It's a whole set. It goes from like how to skin a deer, how to can, how to plant this under what moon. I mean, again, that goes into the magic of
I'm already immediately in. If I can
Oh my
add to
gosh,
my
it's
collection
fascinating.
of things that I know how to do, but I will never actually use.
Yes,
Yeah.
it
Foxfire.
is
All right.
Foxfire. It is fascinating. And so I was reading in one of it for some folklore, and there's one that, so I used to live in Asheville, which is over the mountain. And so there's a story where a man picks up Bigfoot. He gets in his truck, drives over like a few miles with him over the mountain between here and Asheville. And then he
Wait.
just, while the truck's going, just jumps out.
Wait. He picks up Bigfoot like a hitchhiker, or
Yes.
he's like puts him over his shoulder, then puts him in the back of the bed. What's happening with picks
He
up
gets in the
Bigfoot?
truck with him.
And his name
It
was
is my
Harry
new
Henderson.
favorite. Yes, it's my new favorite story, like that I had never heard, and I'm like, that is the best one. I love it. And do you know, every time I drive over that mountain now, I am in high hopes.
I hope I see a hitchhiker that's very hairy.
Yes. I will
How
sing
was
you
it
a
leg?
screenshot to that story.
How much leg did Sasquatch have to show
Thank
in
you.
order to actually get
Thank
picked up
you.
by somebody?
It's got to go over the knee. We're not just
To
talking
get a good
ankle
mountain
here.
man, you gotta show
Seriously.
some leg.
Yeah. Come
We're going
on.
to hear a few more stories and more right after
For those
this.
of you naysayers, I want you to know how much I appreciate how many of you grabbed a hold of my small package after last week's show. It is out and available. You can get both of my books, The Other Side, A Guide to the Paranormal and Ghost Hunting, and my brand new book, Theater of the Mind, Tales from the Darkness. Both books are out. One, of course, kind of a how-to ghost hunt book, and the other story book of strange supernatural occurrences all around the world. You can get your hand on my small package by just ordering it right off of my website. You can go right to paranormal60.com, scroll down on the front page there, or go to the shop and scroll down and you'll see our book bundle. And I was so humbled by the fact of how many men put their hands on my small package at the end of last week's show and bought it. It was great. It made me feel loved and wanted. I'm not going to lie.
That was abrupt. I apologize.
No, you're good.
Which thing are you
Yep.
referring to?
All of them.
All of it. 100% of it.
Yeah.
All right. Now, did you always kind of feel the pull towards Appalachia, or did that kind of come later? Have you always felt very connected to the area? Like,
Oh yeah, since I was a kid, I grew up and my grandparents and my parents are from Western North Carolina, so we were always in the mountains doing picking beans, canning beans, or sitting on the porch. I grew up more with the older people of my family than people my age. I joke I get along with older people, but I actually am really good at sitting around with old people talking to them because that's what I did growing up. I learned all their ways. I feel like when people say, "Oh, you're wise," no, I just sat with a lot of older people, and that's how I know what I know. You know, like I don't know. That's how I grew up. And so when I moved away after I got married for about 4 years, and when he's like, "I can't stay in this heat anymore," I'm like, "Can we go back to Appalachia? Please take me back." God, please. The mountains, you just want to be home in these. I can't explain in like June or July a full hard rain, but when you're in the mountains and the rain can't fully get to you, but you're still getting damp from the trees, it is this uncanny feeling of just magic.
That sounds
And
friggin'
I crave
delightful.
that.
Yeah.
Like my soul craves this certain feeling in the summer. And I hate summer, but this particular feeling has to be summer storm in the mountains. I get chills. You can't explain it.
Oh, that's so nice.
I know. I love that so much. So many people
Yeah.
have to search for so long before they find a place that calls, right?
Yeah.
Like that. Or they end up born in the middle of Illinois when they know they're not supposed to be. What?
Oh,
Oh, that's me. Anyway, but I love that you have that, right? Like you were born in the place that calls to you. That's fantastic, especially because now, does the witch portion is that passed down through your family tree?
Depends on how you ask that, of course. So no witches in our family. We did have healers.
Right.
So I started learning how to ask the right questions to get the answers I wanted, because I learned quickly when I approached with witch, shut down. We don't talk about No. So I did some research learning on Appalachian magic and started learning the right terms to say. And so I'm now actually trying to get my hands on a Bible, but my great grandmother was just like a granny woman. She had a certain tea that fixed my grandpa's back pain that was just elderberry and pine needles or pine bark, something like that. It's written in her Bible. All her cures and magic are written in her Bible. All the recipes for the healing. So that's where the magic is in the family if you know how to look for it.
You got to get your hands on that Bible. What are you doing?
I have been trying desperately, and I think I'm this close to getting my hands on it. But it's interesting because that lady's Bible was one of the first women picked up on in a reading with me. And I found the picture of her that they described from my mom. And she's one of my guides. And it's so funny because she's a healer and she comes around when I'm doing any healing work in magic.
Oh, I love that so much.
She's tough too. She is a little.
Of course she is. Come on.
Yes.
I'm immediately afraid of most people who are coming from Appalachia. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like you could survive more somehow, and just yeah, that's it.
The Holler people can, and I have a respect for them that is unmatched because they will survive they always have. That's the one thing about Appalachian people, and it really was reminded during the flood last year. We get through anything, and it's because we support each other. And there's the magic of that runs through the mountains of we still know how to help our own. And it doesn't matter here, you're your own just by living in that mountain. That's all that it requires. So
yeah, it speaks strongly to community in general because there's such a push to just be an individual and just don't think about anybody else. But once you get a community, you're strong as hell.
That's magic. I think people forget that's magic in
Absolutely.
itself.
It's incredible watching like the smaller communities like bouncing in between like a larger, more metropolitan area and a very, very small town. You know, you see the help that is provided with the very, very small town, and then you see the help that is not so much there, or at least as readily available in sort of an urban area. So yeah, I wildly respect the communities that come together like that.
Oh yes, I love it. It's one of the things I'm most proud of is that our community.
Yeah, that's fantastic and amazing. I love it. So when did you start growing things? When did you find that? Because I know that you grow like the farm or like the herbalism part of it. I know you grow things, you have a connection to plants, right? Have you been always, quote unquote, good at plants, or did that happen over time?
That came after the magic. After I learned magic, there were plants, and I found that working with herbs was I wanted to touch them. I could touch that, and I need something to touch. I'm a Capricorn as it is. I need that physical, I need to touch it, need dirt. And I just found I could grow stuff. And then I realized that I could grow stuff that can help people magically or literally.
Yeah.
I mean, still magically, but healing them with what I can grow in the backyard. And as much as I'm pro modern medicine, I mean, don't get me wrong, you won't hear me argue I need insulin to live. But I think some things can be fixed with an herb that we just forget is right at our hands. So yes, I just found that I loved it. I met a few witches who had a green thumb, unlike anything I've ever seen, and they shared with me their magic with plants, and that's truly where I picked it up and learned mine.
I'm so fascinated by all of it. Just, I think for me, I'm also imagining like this delightful little cottage in the woods that's like covered in moss, and then just has these beautiful like little garden plots out there and just some things that you need.
You're close.
Yeah.
I don't have the cottage. We built a little tiny-ish home situation, but the lots of gardens, yes. And I try to go out there and harvest all my own stuff for magic or for tinctures and teas I make for people. I love it. I recently did an herbalism class that taught me how to connect better with plants. And that changed plant magic for me because I went out in the winter, it was snowing, and I was like, I found rosebuds, and you have to get them like in the winter time. And so it's the best time to collect them. And so I went out there and I was like, what can you teach me? They said, ask the plant, what can you teach me? So I did. I sat out there and I'm like, what can you teach me today? So I start picking. And I noticed if I went slow and steady, it was easy picks. Beautiful, smooth, swift. When I started getting rushing because I was getting cold and impatient, I started poking myself. And the plant taught me sometimes even when it's hard, patience will get you further. So it was just a small little lesson that plant taught me that day, and it was one I did need in my life at the time. So
I don't like that lesson.
Same.
Do it.
And it was an interesting lesson, and I sat with that for a while, and I was like, oh. But I did, and I got my rose hips. Not rosebuds, rose hips. It's the hip, the wild hip. You have to get in the winter. So
I don't know anything about plants,
Yeah.
but that sounded weird. So
That's
yeah,
okay.
thank you for the correction.
The rose hips, like I know that they're a thing. I know that they're helpful. I don't know what else they are.
Yeah. They're also good for self-love. So when I'm doing I'm like, God, I'm not the shit right now. I will go put a potion together. A potion. Sometimes it's fun to just say that.
Well, yeah.
Like to work on my self-love. Where do I need to focus? Why am I not feeling it? But that helps me reflect on why. So yeah.
Oh, I like
I
that.
will kill
Seriously,
every plant on accident. I'm bad with them.
I used to overlove them too.
Okay, we'll call it that.
Yeah, that's the world I enter. Like, oh man, or I just oops,
Yeah.
the doodle.
I bet you can grow
Fine.
some really good fake plants.
They're gorgeous.
I
Let me
bet.
tell you.
I've seen them. It's a collection.
Mhm.
Yes.
Plastic.
Yeah.
Really
Also,
good
I'm just
plastic.
gonna go ahead and ask that you not touch my plants. Now that you've
I
given this
would
permission.
never. I try not to touch your animals as well, but they touch me first. It's not my fault.
I feel like you should touch the animals.
What if they die?
Oh no.
I'm bad with things.
You've
All
kept
the
animals
time.
alive. You kept a human being alive.
I was gonna say you're doing
Did I
great
do it well?
I don't know. I've never met the kid.
Exactly.
All right. It's really just a mannequin.
Here he is.
I did
He's
it.
really looking good. Look at him. He was all dressed and stuff.
And here's all these plants that I grew too. They're a little dusty and shiny. Anyway, so what are some of your I'm always very curious about some of the scariest and also the best experiences that you've had like as a medium, because I am so blissfully unaware of any sort of spirit or icky thing or shadow person, anything. You go into a haunted building, I'm like, la 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 la. I don't know what's happening. I don't want to know, but I hear these stories, so I'm fascinated. So please, I'll stop talking now.
No, I love it. Please talk. I love to listen. The scariest you said, and the what? If I don't mind me asking one more time.
No, of course. And the best.
The best. All right, the scariest. Do y'all like fuck around and find out stories? Because I did it.
Yes, I
So-
use them as life lessons for Tressa all the time.
Okay, well, learn. It was an innocent mistake, but I learned quickly. So I've recently taken on a role as the Euroshrine Witch, and so we were working on some stuff there, and that we were going to do a conjure and summoning, and nobody's fault. I just was not on the same page as everyone else. So I thought we were all getting together to go through it. And so when I get there, it's already planned. We're doing it. What we're doing, I just was new to me. And I don't want to scare everyone with what kind of entity it was, but it was darker. And so anyway, we did it. And I did a little research and I'm like, okay, I feel comfortable doing this enough. I'll go for it. I made a mistake though, because even though it was a conjure, I probably shouldn't have tapped in my medium stuff into that. And so when I did, I kept going, as above, so below, I am the medium. It's something I do when I'm connecting to help remind the spirits I'm here to be your medium if you want to talk. Well, what we were summoning, I started hearing footsteps behind me. People were hearing the whispers. And now I'm a believer, don't get me wrong, but also I'm a skeptic believer, even with what I do. I mean, I believe people, but also until it happens to me, I don't know, So I'm like hearing something walk up behind me and I was like, shit. And so then, and I don't want to sound like it was a dramatic scene. I promise it wasn't. Like, I don't want it to sound that crazy, but my chest started like feeling tight. And I was like, what the frick? And I was like, calm down. You're just anxious with what we're doing. It's okay. And then I was like, no. Then my throat started feeling like it was expanding. Well, I realized I opened up a medium channel to this deity that we were conjuring. Because I was almost to the point of like, maybe I should stop it and ask for medical help. I mean, I got a few medical conditions. I was like, maybe something, but I'm going, hold on a second. There are people here that if you do pass out, they know what to do. Whatever, you're fine. Just get through this. Don't stop it. So, and then my chest starts. That's when all that happened. I was like, shit. Well, thankfully, we stopped and I was like, okay, it all went away. Very tired. I start talking to a few people that were there and they're like, you opened up to be the medium for it. What the hell? And I was like, I did what? No. So yeah, I mean, it was all shut down. It was safe. Again, it wasn't super dramatic, but it was for me not realizing I had accidentally opened up that whole. Yeah, that wasn't fun. That scared me a little bit.
Hey, you know what's weird about that? I feel like I've told this story 80 million times in the past week.
It's the only story that I have actually paid attention to you saying. Just kidding. That was a little jab. No, that's what I was thinking about. Please tell the story. I'm gonna shut up.
Please do. I want to hear it.
I was on a ghost hunt, huge ghost hunt with a bunch of different groups with Jeff and Dave, and I sat down, kind of bored. Because there's, when there's so many people in a huge group hunt, you're just like, what could possibly happen? There's too many people. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to concentrate and I'm going to just be like, I'm opening up right now. If you have anything you want me to feel or see or hear, I'm right here if you want to like give me anything. And then my chest started to get really tight and then my throat started to get really tight. And I walked out of the house, and the further I got from the house, the more it loosened up, and I just decided not to go back in the house. So yeah, I understand that completely.
So what we're saying is that perhaps you had opened yourself up to something a little bit nasty. All right. We're going to have a chat about this.
I would love to have a chat about this.
How about instead we do this?
Oh, hey, Tressa. Jeni? Oh, I'm just reading my book by international TV sensation, Dave Schrader. I'm reading the book, too. I don't remember the name of it or who wrote it, but yeah. There, I like your shirt. I got it on monstersloungepodcast.com. You've got a great shirt too. Oh, that's so weird. I got it at monstersloungepodcast.com too. They have really great stuff. A full variety. I know, right? They have everything. Shirts. Tote bags. Clutches. A phone case, I think. It's the best.
It always makes me
It's so good. It's so good. The fact that there's
I
AI
love y'all
voices
so
mixed in. Listen, and also, everybody, Tressa's about to give me access, and there will be some shirt designs that will be happening. And I don't want to give too much away, but I'm just gonna say sharks and
obviously.
leave it at that. It's just
Obviously.
sharks all the time.
Okay.
Anyway, I feel like we have some more. Yes, the best experience. The best experience, please.
Best experience.
Mhm.
Sorry, I was still
No,
thinking.
you're fine.
Side note, though, in the commercial
Chat?
there,
Oh.
I saw Sharice's book. Speaking of
Yeah.
witches,
Yeah.
and I love her.
She
I
is
just-
so sweet.
She's
Is
the
she
best.
not? She
She's
truly
great.
is. I love her so much. Yes.
She's on such a cool spiritual journey right now, and
Mhm.
I am here for it. Expand, learn,
Yes.
grow, do it all.
Yes. I've been
Yes.
following as well, and I love seeing what she's learning.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yes.
It's so cool. She explained when she was on the show, she explained, and it was like the best explanation of like a ritual that I have ever heard. She's like, just making your coffee can be a ritual. If you were putting intent into it, what your intent going into like the physical act of doing something can be a ritual. And I was like, you're so smart and so cool.
Have y'all heard the water, like glass of water method?
Oh,
No.
speaking into it?
Yes, like I heard it from Queen Herbie, and like you hold a glass of water, speak your intent into it, and then drink your glass of water.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Man. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah. I wouldn't know what I'm going to find Tressa doing later.
I told you not to come into my room.
I probably shouldn't
know.
do that.
Just
Oh my god.
Whispering into wine.
You're so pretty. Everybody loves you.
Will you please bring me some money?
You're so rich. You
Yeah.
paid for everybody's house. Yeah, that. That's what I do every day. Excuse me.
Anyway.
And that's how magic works, folks. That's it. That's the answer.
Boom.
So I guess we'll close up this episode then. No, tell us about your
Yes.
favorite good experience.
Yes, please.
Oh yes, my favorite experience as a medium. Probably recently just had a lady. I was just helping her. She's never done a reading before. Just wanted to say a few things to her mother and father that had passed away she didn't get to, and just super validating for her, which is what matters to me. So I don't know, those are my favorite. I love what I do and all the cool experiences I get to do. Like I do, I'm grateful. But man, knowing you actually help someone,
That's huge.
there's nothing better for me.
Yeah,
Nothing better.
absolutely. Even if it wasn't magical, you're
Yeah.
still helping people, and that's
Yes.
friggin' magical.
Yeah.
I think
Boom.
that was a hard thing for me. I suffered with for a while with what I do. I actually had a reading with Sarah Lemos last year. She
Oh, I love
helped
her.
me out. Yeah, she's listen,
She
wouldn't
is
be here
funnier
without
than
her.
all get out.
She
My
is,
goodness.
and she's a good person. And
Yeah.
I had a reading with her. I was ready to just quit. I thought I was being a fraud. I'm like, that whole like, am I crazy? Am I just getting people to believe me? And like, am I that good of a swooner? And I don't know, just in my head about it, because I want to
Yeah.
help people. Like,
Yeah.
I really want to
Sure.
help, not fake them. And
Mhm.
so she was just wonderful. And I tested her, like not like her specific, like, ooh, but I was like at a point where I'm like, I'm out. If this doesn't work, she's already got some stuff on me that no one else would know. So let's see. Don't test her. The spirits will tell her everything.
Was she like, stop lying?
Yeah. Well, I didn't even ask her. She said, you have questions? And I said, no, just tell me what I need to know. And I did. I had some very big questions that were life altered, that would change my path. And she answered and didn't answer them for the longest time. And the last two things she covered, she goes, oh. And she said the two things that I needed to hear. And the only two questions I had answered.
She would exactly do it like that too. Like,
The whole time I'm going, you're right on this. Yep. That, I mean, it was stuff I needed. I'm not
Mhm,
saying
mhm.
like, but you
But
know,
you had
test
specific
them, you
things
need
you
'em.
wanted to know, but
Yeah.
that you didn't want to say.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
what people do. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
I get it. People do it to me. You
Yeah.
have serious questions and I don't know. It was, but she did. She answered and made me realize I'm not a fraud. And yeah, I wouldn't be where I'm at now without her.
Oh,
Yeah.
bless her. Bless you. Bless us all. Okay, I gotta shut up.
All right,
Yeah.
Tim.
My like
Well
Southern
done.
Baptist almost came out like some years ago. Amen. No offense to anyone who believes. I'm just saying.
No, you're speaking your truth. It's fine.
Yes.
That's all right. I called her Tiny Tim, so whatever. Yeah, that's right. I grew up around old people too.
I love it.
Read it all.
Yes.
I would imagine, yeah, that because that would be exactly what I would want to do, right? Is like really test it out because there's a certain, for me, there's a certain level of hope tied into somebody being able to answer those questions that you can't answer for yourself, right? And for some reason, I would like to lower the hope to like here, so that if it's not accurate, then there's not that much disappointment.
Yes.
It's a crazily pessimistic view for me, who is the eternal optimist.
Yep.
Yeah, you were
confusing
right to
me.
look confused. You were right.
Yeah.
You were correct
Thank
in
you.
that. Yeah.
Thank you for the validation.
I'm
I
confused and
appreciate
I'm in here in my brain. So
it. Yikes. Because I'm all put together and super great.
it's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Now, I do have some questions, some preschool level questions.
Okay.
Again, what exactly is conjuring?
Okay, cool.
Is it like the movie?
Yes.
Not the Conjuring movies, but like if you see it, you're like,
Yes.
come
Okay.
on up.
I mean, it can be. I'm not going to say conjuring is, if you look up, it is bringing forth the other side to here. You're creating a channel for them to come here. Necromancy is like a form of that. Some people do call it that. It's necromancy. Or an example would be we conjured Saint Bridget. We did a class with our friend Maeve, and she conjured Saint Bridget. It's crazy. In that room, you could feel a peace unlike anything I've ever felt. I don't know how to explain it, but you're conjuring their energy, their essence into a room, the spirit into the room. Some conjures, necromancy is more like with raising the dead and stuff, but conjuring is just pulling forth the dead or entities forward.
Okay. Now, follow up. Are there people who believe that they can actually raise dead bodies from the ground?
If you go back in culture, this goes back into
Yeah.
cultural history.
Like
So,
way back, right?
yes, and
Like
what
20
I've
years
read,
ago, like the 80s.
and I'm always open to correction. So if someone sees this and can correct me, I'm open to it. But from what I've been reading and studying with it is, was it Haitian maybe? I believe, where they did have zombies, where they would not fully kill people, but they would become like a zombie or piece back together. Or there are forms of magic where weird. No, not weird. That's not the term I want to use. I'd like to redact that. Just different from what I practice or do in a form of a zombie. So yes, there are some people who believe that. Yes, there are things that can be done that until you see it, you're like, huh? But when you see it,
Yeah.
There goes.
Yeah, I entirely said that in an absolutely judgy way, and that was not great.
no,
because-
I get what you mean. I mean, not like
but when I think about it, it's like
Uncle Joe died. We ain't bringing him right back off the table.
right. Yeah, but the way that you say it is like, yeah, but I'll absolutely be like, oh yeah, that dude totally saw Bigfoot. You know what I mean? Like, like where is my threshold of belief
Mhm.
and skepticism? So yeah.
It's interesting. For me personally, what conjure is the energies, entities, helping them find manifestation here physically in this realm, if that's what they seek. The place that I am go in the Ura Shrine, that is a place where entities, it's like a playground for them. So we can conjure them there and they can play, do what they want. That's a whole different thing, but that's a place of balance, and darkness and light can be there, and you
Do
can
they
conjure
want to
what you
be
want.
conjured? Is that something that I don't mean to like put anything on you. I'm just
No,
like,
no,
i-
you're fine. That's a
is
good
it
question.
is it something they seek out? Like, if they don't want to be conjured, are they like,
Mhm.
nah, I'm good?
Oh yeah, interesting.
No, that's a really good question. Again, this could be subject to who you're talking to. Personally, how I view
Sure.
it, I will talk with a spirit or ask them. Well, conjuring and summoning is telling them. You have to have a form of telling them what to do as well, because
Mhm.
you don't want to be the weakest link either, because things can take advantage in conjure.
Sure.
But I approach it personally with a form of respect. I don't look at things as evil or necessarily dark, because look at energy, or how I look at it is, do you think a wolf is a terrible creature because it shreds its food apart? No.
Well,
That's what
yeah.
it does. That's what
Yeah.
it was created to do. That's how it lives and functions. I think entities are the same way in other realms. Sometimes they just are what they are. They feed
Right.
off human emotion and negativity because that's just what they do, or were created to do by another person. Like, so I approach them more of, you have a job, you're doing your thing. Can we, like, I might need help with what you could, because when you conjure something, you need to have a purpose. I don't think you should just conjure something for shits and giggles.
Right.
So,
Right.
like, a purpose of, like, say there was a thief. I'm trying to conjure something that's going to get them to bring back, that don't like thieves. They want to bring back. So in like Appalachian conjure, I might have Uncle Joe here who would shoot someone who was a thief. So I'm going to summon Uncle Joe's energy to go pester him to bring me back my stuff.
Okay.
Or I might conjure up a deity or a whatever entity that doesn't like that. I might offer them things I know they like, hey, if you do this for me, I'm going to do this for you, because nothing comes for free.
Nope.
I think that's important to remember in conjure, and I'm specific. I don't just conjure for anybody or anything. I'm picky.
That's really good. Thank you for being picky.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we hear so much. I mean, we hear so much, first of all, in fairy tales, in folklore, the trading bit happens, and it's usually like, if you end up trading, like, you end up somehow cursing yourself or bringing about a lifelong debt or something along those lines.
The monkey paw situation.
The monkey paw situation, and also it-
I have a monkey paw story too. So at first I'm like, wait, do y'all know about the monk? But
no, just the one story, but apparently you have one, so we're gonna need to hear that.
no, go ahead.
No, full stop. You have a monkey paw story?
Well, I mean, that's a form of magic I learned. And so let me think what parts I can talk about. There's just been some activity thrown against some people I know. And so there's a way to cause chaos with monkey paws. You put your intent into it and put it with something that belongs to them, and chaos like a monkey.
I mean, let's let the monkeys keep their paws first and foremost. I mean, they're little cute grabbers. They do stuff with them,
Yeah.
Agreed, but some
Agreed.
practices do have
Yeah.
I'm gonna
because
officially
again,
ask.
magic's intent. So really you can do whatever. A fly can cause chaos.
Yeah.
I could use a piece of tape because I'm trying to mend a relationship. So I'm going to go get something that represents them, something me, and a piece of tape, and we're going to work on fixing it's all in your intent. All the tools. I'm a firm believer you're the magic, or it comes from the earth. One of the two.
I mean, it's always intent, isn't it? regardless, I feel like.
Yeah.
But, Jeni, do you have one more question? Because we gotta wrap this up.
I mostly just want to say, I've heard the term conjuring and the trading and stuff, and that usually there's sort of like this negative connotation
Yes.
to it, right? Because of, especially in Appalachia, we look at one of my favorite movies, Pumpkinhead, right?
Yes.
That's one of your favorite movies.
Listen, I love Lance Henriksen beyond anything because aliens. So Pumpkinhead makes me happy.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yes, there's a lot of conjuring happening in that. So a lot of people are introduced to it like it's a bad thing.
Yes.
But again, so that trade back and forth is that kind of a one-time deal? Does that affect your karma, soul, etc.?
Good question. I personally sat with that one for a long time. Just like of all people to ask, good question, because I sat with that for a long time with everything I do now. It took me a long time to work through what I'm doing. Is my soul going to suffer for it? Again, with dark and light, when I'm conjuring things, I have a purpose. My purpose, at least, not to sound like I think I'm some hero. I'm not here to save the world. It's not my job. I'm here to make a difference with the people I encounter, and that's it. And so what I do, what people call dark summonings or dark, do you think putting a pedophile away or maybe even them dying is considered a bad thing? Like, to just have them put out? Like, most people would agree, no, they deserve to be away. Binding them up to make sure they can't harm another kid, is that really bad? Like, yeah, that's dark magic. I could bind him up, make sure he doesn't harm another person. His life will be miserable. I will make, not me, just in general, I can make their life hell.
Right.
But does that make me a bad person from stopping him from harming a bunch of kids? So that's how you have to look at these practices, is like, what's your intent? What's your purpose with that? Sometimes summoning a dark thing and making a deal with it in that moment, it is I try to make them obviously single transactions. Is there room for, there's always room for error and magic. You're dealing with entities in another realm that we all don't know everything about. I approach with respect, and I treat the entity just how I've always done. You're a being, I'm a being. Can we meet here? If not, then I probably just don't want to be around you again. We're going to shut this door, make sure it's locked. And I know, again, there's always room. That's one gamble I had to choose to take with what I do. But to help other people, I'm just willing to fight for the ones I love, no matter how dark that takes.
I love it. That was my last question, Tressa.
Oh, thank you, Jeni.
I hope that answered that.
It totally did, and I appreciate the viewpoint.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I will now start the closing ceremony. Hey, Haley, thank you so much for joining us. This was a pleasure. We had a lot of fun, and we hope you did too. How was that, Jeni?
That was amazing. That was
felt
fantastic.
very sincere.
Oh, good. It was, but it was meant to not sound sincere. But it was sincere.
Yeah.
Well, everybody else.
Well, wait, we gotta say, like, how do we find you?
Oh,
how do
yeah,
people
sorry.
get it?
See, I asked and you said it was fine, so this is on you.
Listen, I thought that was what you were gonna ask.
I don't want to hurt anyone else's feelings, but y'all might be my favorite podcast hosts. Y'all, I am just on y'all's vibe, and it is my favorite how y'all go back and forth.
It's our curse. We're the best.
That's
Oh, I love it.
You're gonna
Y'all
see
are
it
so
in person soon. It's so
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Okay, plug your stuff.
Oh, yes. You can find me on Instagram, Haley's Haunts and Oddities, or Facebook, Haley Staack, and you can come and learn with us at Appalachian Seance Society. So, yeah, we do online classes.
And we've got links to all that in the show notes, so go check them out.
Thank y'all again. Y'all are so wonderful and so beautiful.
Thank you. Stop
and I am just honored to be in your presence.
No, we are as to you. Thank you so much. Everybody else,
There it
go
is.
check out our socials and our website, monstersloungepodcast.com, where you can find our merch or our contact information to talk to us or whatever. But until next time, thanks for joining the Monsters Lounge.